Welcome to the coming apocalypse. Evangelist and pastor Paul Begley will take you on a journey into the end times prophecy. He'll examine current world events and explain how they relate to the end times. For decades, Pastor Begley has provided people all over the world with an understanding of today's world events from a biblical perspective. Now here's your host, Pastor Paul Begley.
We are 4 minutes late. 4 minutes late. But the news is coming in so fast, it's just hard to keep up with it. It's unbelievable. Operation Liberty. What? Fair Use Act. In good faith, this work contains fair use of copyrighted, non-copyrighted images from the public domain and the web for the non-commercial, non-profit, educational purposes only. This work is being distributed free of charge. What? Are you serious? Tonight? Yes, it's going to be a powerful program tonight and a very fluid situations developing around the world. And so we're all over it tonight. Welcome to the coming apocalypse. Hour number, how could there only be 6 people here? Real shout out right now to the ancientdiet.com. That's www.ancientdiet.com. Lose the weight and feel great. The Shepherd's Diet. Are you serious? That's at www.theancientdiet.com. That's www.theancientdiet.com. It's biblically based diet that Mrs. Wild put together called the Shepherd's Diet. You lose the weight, you're going to feel great. And I can tell you, since I've lost the weight, I'm feeling great. And you're going to feel wonderful. So check it out again at www.ancientdiet.com. Christian company, family owned, and really do a wonderful job. All right, guys, here's what's going on. Are you serious? Everybody gathering in. I don't know. I feel like we need a song. Brock, I feel like we need a song. I feel like you should just play Shelter Me, Lord, because the chaos, the carnage, the craziness, the catastrophes, the Operation Liberty, Venezuela, coming unglued. It's coming unglued. It's coming.
The earth can shake, the sky come down, the mountains all fall to the ground. But I will fear none of those things. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Dark waters rise, the thunder pounds, the wheels of war are going round. And all the walls are crumbling. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Hide me underneath your wings. Hide me deep inside your heart. In your refuge, cover me. Lord, I'm making you my hiding place. The wind will blow, the rain can pour, the deluge break, the tempest roars. But in that storm, my spirit sings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. you call for me. Someday when time no more shall be, and I say, death, where is your sting? Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Someday when time no more shall be, well, I say, death, where is your sting? Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings.
Are you serious? Guys, I blew the shofar, but man, it was on such a high pitch. I mean, a high pitch tonight. Are you serious? What? I blew it during a song, and I think it was so high pitched that it almost overtook the music. Am I serious about that? I am serious. Guys, grab a Bible. We're on Operation Liberty. Putin and Maduro, the men behind the chaos in Venezuela. There are reports out. I can't believe what I saw this afternoon. I cannot believe what I saw this afternoon and heard. I heard conservative people talking about blaming the chaos of Venezuela on President Trump and Guaido. Are you serious? Have these people... Do they hate Trump this bad? And I'm not talking about the lamestream fake news media either. I'm not talking about those guys. This was coming out of conservative Christian views. Conservative Christians were throwing and blaming Trump for Venezuela. Folks, Hugo Chavez was elected president of Venezuela when that nation was the most prosperous nation in all of South America. And in his time there, in 15 years, he robbed them blind. He pulled another Fidel Castro on them. He stole their businesses, stole their land, changed their constitution, made himself a dictator, stole their oil royalties, turned them into a socialist, took away their freedom of speech, and took away their guns, so that they couldn't ever rise up and take them out of power. That's what you're watching right now. This is why Guaido can't get a hold of that nation, because they have no way to fight against them. And so they're literally starving and no food and no heat in the winter, and there's no garbage pickup, and there's no water half the time, and the power's out, and the shelves are empty, and there's medical supplies. I mean, are you serious? You're going to blame that on Trump? Well, it's because of the sanctions. Folks, this nation was broke, busted, and disgusted way before Trump put an embargo on the oil. My Lord, I can't. This is how bad people hate Trump and hate America and hate Jews and hate Israel and hate anybody and everybody. And they're sticking up for the communists. They're sticking up for the atheists. They're sticking up for the global elitists, and still they say they're part of the body of Christ. It's unbelievable to me. I almost fell out of my chair. What are they doing? Oh, folks. They're acting like Trump is the puppet master and Guaido's the puppet. The truth is, the two men that are behind the literal chaos of this country called Venezuela is Nicolas Maduro and Vladimir Putin. And before Putin, it was Hugo Chavez. But Maduro has really destroyed this country, and he refuses to give up power. And I'm going to tell you what breaking news we have about this right now. Maduro was not going to do right by his people. If he was going to do right by his people, he had already been gone. He would have let them have their guns. He would let them have their freedom of speech. He would let them have their businesses back that Hugo Chavez stole from them. He would not have turned his goons out to shoot and murder them in the streets and to rob them and to rob their bank accounts. He's ruined their economy. The inflation is beyond comprehension. Oh, this is awful what's happening. It's unbelievable. Now, what does the Bible say about all this before I get any further here, before I get on a rant here that I can't come down from? Okay, I want to welcome all 1,100 of you. I'm just going to read a couple things. Okay, look, the kingdoms of the world are going to crumble. There is going to be, there's the kingdom of the lion, the kingdom of the bear, the kingdom of the leopard, and there's, of course, this fourth kingdom, which is the New World Order. And it says in Daniel 7:7, after this I saw in the night visions, behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels were as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set. The books were opened. And I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away. His kingdom, which shall not be destroyed. The kingdom of Jesus Christ will never end. He shall reign for eternity. He'll have 1,000-year reign on the earth, but he will reign forevermore. Are you serious? I want to welcome all 1,200 of you. Welcome tonight to this powerful broadcast. Real quick now, we got breaking news coming out of North Carolina at Charlotte. There's been a shooting on the campus of University of North Carolina, Charlotte. 2 people are dead. At least 4 others have been shot and wounded. The suspect's been taken into custody after a shooting this evening at the University of North Carolina and Charlotte. Now, there's been no information whether the dead and wounded were students. Lester Oliver with the Mecklenburg EMS agency is saying, Charlotte police said in a tweet that the campus had been secured, that 1 person was in custody, and that there was no reason to believe anyone else is involved. 2 dead, 4 wounded. Terrible scene. There you see it. Terrible, terrible scene. University, North Carolina, Charlotte. Awful situation. Our big story tonight, Operation Liberty. According to reports, Maduro has gotten more and more and more of the army has joined him. That he now has an army. He doesn't just have part of the army. He has a very significant amount of the army. And a lot of the police have joined Maduro, and they're chanting in the streets, and they were patting the police on the back for siding with the people. You may have heard earlier in the day during our live broadcast this morning those are the actual soldiers. If you see them with a blue scarf around their face, or if they're wearing a blue rope or some kind of blue bandana around their arm, they're saying, we are with Guaido. Okay, we have switched to Guaido's side. And the numbers of them defecting to Guaido now are in the thousands. And in the streets, thousands of people are pouring into the streets. And so all of a sudden, it is a situation now where clashing has erupted in the streets of Venezuela, but it's no longer a coup. It's the people taking their government back with the legitimate leader, Juan Guaido. And no, he's not Trump's puppet. He has over 50 nations who already recognized him as the leader of the people of Venezuela, and that the corruption of Nicolas Maduro and the corruption of Vladimir Putin to try to keep him in power, along with the Cubans and the Chinese, is coming to an end. There's Guaido. He's got the support of the Brazilians, the Colombians, the Israelis, the United States, and probably already some special opt contractors, if you will, some black water people, some folks, mercenaries, no doubt are in there. But now there's 25,000 Cuban soldiers are in Caracas tonight trying to protect that man, Nicolas Maduro, who's got Iran on his side, the Russians, the Chinese, the Cubans. So the commies, all the commies, but even Kim Jong-un is on the side of Guaido. What? So Maduro, so I'm just telling the facts. It's not an opinion here. I'm just reporting to you the facts. Get this, check this out. Venezuela's President Maduro had a plane on the tarmac yesterday. He was ready to flee to Cuba, had 1 foot in the plane when he received an urgent call from Russia, from the Kremlin. Putin said, don't do this, don't leave, don't leave. According to Fox News, according to the Daily Mail, according to Reuters, according to the New York Times, according to CNN, according to the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Mike Pompeo, Maduro was ready to leave Venezuela before Russia convinced him to stay. According to Mike Pompeo, he told Fox News, the U.S. has learned that Venezuela disputed dictator Nicolas Maduro was ready to leave the country amid protest, violence, and calls for his ouster until Russia convinced him last night to stay. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told Fox News tonight. He said he was ready to go. Pompeo said in a special report, he was diverted by the Russians. He did not give any further specifics on when this apparently took place, But Pompeo also noted he wanted Maduro, whom he called a thug, to get back on that plane. This dude was 1 foot in the plane. The United States and about 50 other nations of the world have taken the position that Nicolas Maduro's re-election last year was marred by fraud and that he's not the legitimate president of Venezuela. One person, and they said that this was at one time the most prosperous nation in the world's largest proven oil reserves, the most prosperous nation in South America. Look at this. Look what's going on out here. Okay? And the United States government said 20,000 Cuban troops and agents have been working in Venezuela to prop up Maduro's government from Cuba. It's been paid for by Russian money, but Russia's run out of cash. And they needed to, and Russia is saying, don't leave, no. You know why? Russia wants the oil. Russia wants the gold. Russia wants the diamonds. So does China. And I'm not saying the United States don't want it. Sure, the United States will take it. Look at this. Running people over. That's nothing. If I was to show you the video that I got here, where these two different, just like that, it was those kinds of armored vehicles, gunned it, and run over about 15 people apiece. I mean, ran them over, hit them hard, and then just completely barreled over top of them and run them over, crushing them to the pavement. It was an organized murder of innocent civilians in the streets of Caracas. And they're doing this on behalf of Maduro. And I'm here to tell you tonight, Maduro's days are numbered. I'm here to tell you tonight he will not survive. I'm here to tell you tonight he should have got back on that plane and went to Cuba, because now his life is, and his wife, and I bet you his wife is saying to him, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. And it's out of control, folks. This thing is completely out of control. And you can't blame that on Trump. And you cannot blame that on Juan Guaido. Trump and Guaido are not driving those Humvees running people over. That's not U.S. soldiers doing that. It's not the Israelis' fault. It's not the Jews' fault that this is going on in Venezuela. It's not the evangelicals' fault what Hugo Chavez and the communists did to the people of Venezuela. I get phone calls from the people of Venezuela. I've talked to the people of Venezuela. So I'm not going to get up here and play little puppet games and try to tell you somehow that Trump is some kind of New World Order guy trying to kill people in Venezuela. That's insanity. Now, I was going to be in a good mood today, and I'm still in a good mood, because the truth is going to bear out, guys. The U.S. has about 50, and look, I can't believe, I'll stop yelling if you'll quit crying. I'm just frustrated when I see some of my brothers in the Lord who constantly blame everything on the Jews and on Trump. And I'm starting to wonder who's paying them. People are saying, oh, Pastor, I feel your frustration. It is heartbreaking. It's killing me. It's unbelievable. Can't blame Israel for Venezuela. How in the world are you going to blame? You want to blame Brazil? You want to blame Colombia? Who you want to blame? How come Putin's always got his arm around the most wicked people in the world? Can somebody tell me why he's teaming up with Maduro and on this hand teaming up with Hassan Rouhani of Iran and then patting the Castro brothers on the back and that bunch over, that communist bunch in Cuba? Does anybody understand what in the world's going on? Why is he teaming up with these Hezbollah and these other guys and Erdogan and these people sitting at Israel's backyard. And people who say they understand the Bible can't see what's going on. I'm just trying to say, guys, somebody's got to stand up and tell the truth here. And they can talk about me and say Begley's this and that. It don't really bother me. Nobody watches their shows, and they want to know why nobody cares. It's because they can't. That has nothing to do with the Bible. Everything they're saying is so unscriptural that it blows my mind. Oh my Lord! Can we get back to what we're doing here? Okay. Here's what's happening. The U.S. and about 50 other nations have taken position that Maduro's re-election last year was marred by fraud and that he's not the legitimate president of Venezuela, as a once prosperous nation has now the world's largest proven oil reserves, but they're broke, busted, and disgusted. The U.S. government said about 20,000 Cuban troops and agents have been working in Venezuela to prop up Maduro's government, a figure disputed by, of course, Cuba. And Pompeo said that the Cubans and the Russians have been in direct opposition to Venezuela's duly elected leader, Juan Guaido. And he noted that 14 countries are actually supporting Maduro, not just the flags that Brock has flying in the wind there. And Pompeo said these guys are all on the wrong side of history, that the rule of law and democracy must be restored. It's time for Maduro to leave, to rebuild this once great economy, said Mike Pompeo. He told Brett Baer that at Fox News. The Trump administration has declared quick and enthusiastic support today for the Venezuelan opposition effort to spark a military uprising against the embattled Maduro, hoping that decisive action in political crisis that has engulfed the South American nation. They are saying to Maduro, get back on the plane and leave Venezuela. As soon as he does, folks, as soon as he finally realizes he better get moving, when he leaves that nation and the word spreads that he's gone, there will be dancing in the streets. Listen to me very closely. There will be literally dancing in the streets of Caracas as soon as they hear that the dictator who has driven them into poverty and chaos and disease and famine, the man who ordered the humanitarian trucks bringing aid to be burnt to the ground, the guy who ordered his own soldiers to run the people over with armored vehicles in the streets, the man who let the prisoners out and gave them guns and uniforms and sent them around executing innocent people in the streets of Caracas, Venezuela. When a word spreads that he's gone, you will see the greatest celebration in your life. Okay, you will see it. And then you can ask yourself the question, is this what the people wanted? Well, they'll show you as soon as Maduro's gone. If Maduro doesn't leave soon, he'll find himself like Mussolini or some of the other dictators. And it won't be pretty. Let me tell you tonight, also while this is going on, we have situation developing all over the place. I want to welcome all 1,700 of you here tonight. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel says, Paul, the reason people don't know what's going on is because there's no coverage. You're right. Daniel's exactly right. You have to watch alternative broadcasting like mine to really know what's going on. And now you got to be careful about some of the other alternative broadcasters who say they're on the Lord's side, who seem to be on the wrong side. It kind of shocked me tonight. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The Lord said, just stand strong and tell the truth. Just get up there and tell the truth. Truth will set people free. Just tell people, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Tell them to stand for democracy, to stand for freedom, to stand for the... God said, Jesus even came to set the captives free. He come to give hope to the hopeless, okay? Praise God. Nobody wants war. We don't have to have war. Get Maduro on a plane, it's over. It's not even a war here. It's one man must go, and the country will be healed. And then it can get back to trying to rebuild what's going to take... What they lost the last 20 years, it's going to take another 20 to rebuild it. They can probably rebuild it in 10, but it will not be done overnight, okay? But it will get rebuilt. Revival will spread, and you'll see, because that's another thing. Maduro doesn't like Christ. Oh, he says he does, but he doesn't. You'll see revival sweep through Venezuela like you've never seen before. Hope will be restored. Prayer will be restored. Power will be restored. There will be some people who will try to take advantage of the situation. The Illuminati's always got his hand in the sop. Judas always had his hand in the sop, but it didn't stop God's plan. Now, let me just say that quickly. Now let's go to the earthquake map. I don't want to do that. I'll just check. Let's just make sure there's no big earthquakes, okay? So glad everybody's here. We've got a great crowd of folks here. I'm so fired up right now. I don't know what I might do next. So you better stay ready. It looks like we've had a mega quake hit about 6.2. I want to get my hands on that right now. I want to be sure I'm seeing this right. Brock, hang on. I'll get it for you. Let's get this turned back on for Brock so he can show you the map. Here we go. We should be going. All right, here's the deal. Okay, here's the situation. Let's see. I think we might have had a mega quake, but I want to be sure of that. That might be wrong information. No, we haven't. Okay, good. We did have a 4.6 in the North Atlantic Ocean, and we did have a 4.4 in Indonesia, and we did have a 4.3 over in Colombia. There you see the North Atlantic Ocean right there. Here's your 4.4 in Indonesia, your 4.3 back over in Colombia, and your 4.6 in the Philippines. 4.5 Japan, 4.4 Fiji, 4.5 India, way over there in India, and looks like a 4.8 up here in Fiji, 5.3 in the northern mid-Atlantic ridge, 4.9 Papua New Guinea, 4.9 again Papua New Guinea, 4.4 Russia, right in the heart of Russia, 5.0 Papua New Guinea, 4.4 Mongolia, which is right there next to the border of Russia. And then we had Nevada just keeps having quakes. And then we had a Redwood Valley, California, a lot on the California coast, 4.8 Tonga. Okay, so we can survive with all of that. All right, we're okay with all of that. Nothing too major that we can't handle. We've already talked about the solar winds and all of that today, and there's nothing major going on there, so that'll be fine. Rabbi Yehuda Glick is leaving the Knesset. I got an email from him this evening. About an hour before I came on the air, I received a personal email from Rabbi Yehuda Glick. Dear friends, my current term in the Israeli Knesset is coming to an end. That's where I first met Glick. The first time I interviewed him, we were sitting outside in the sun. We did an interview outside in Jerusalem. He said, my current term in the Israeli Knesset has come to an end. I would like to thank God and you all for the great privilege that I had in carrying out this special, significant mission. I am constantly in awe of the fact that the people of Israel returned to the land and have been able to establish a prosperous state in a mere 70 years. As someone who devoted most of his life to serving a civil servant of the Jewish people, I see my tenure in the Knesset as just one more station, albeit a very significant one, in the chain of roles in which I've been fortunate to carry out with God's help. There he is, sitting at his desk in the Knesset, in his office. I invested my time and my energy in the Knesset in order to advance the important values and issues that I believe in. Family values, empowering the weaker sides of society, public health, to fight against smoking, and our connection to and the sovereignty over the land of Israel in all its parts in general and in Jerusalem and the Temple Mount in particular. The fusion of the divisions within the Jewish people and encouraging dialogue and mutual tolerance between the different groups within Israeli society. I will summarize these efforts at the end of my letter, but first I would like to present my plans for the future. Shalom, Jerusalem, the next generation. As a direct continuation of my work in the Knesset, I intend to establish Jerusalem's peace movement as a worldwide movement whose goal is to develop and strengthen the connection between the return to Zion process that Israel has experienced in recent decades and the entire world. I firmly believe that the Zionist process is not one that is for the sole benefit of the people of Israel, but we have been charged with the duty of serving as a light unto the nations, and thereby bringing to the world the blessing of God and to our forefather Abraham, and to implement the next stage of this process. So I intend to bolster my current efforts in speaking to groups of visitors that come here to Israel and traveling abroad in order to emphasize to the millions of believers in the Bible the deep meaning of the fact that we have been blessed to witness with our own eyes the fulfillment of the visions of the prophets of the Bible. I intend to encourage all our friends from around the world to help us go to the next level. He goes on to say, "For my house is the house of prayer for all nations." He's actually quoting Isaiah. And then he says, "Many people will say, 'Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and we will walk in his paths. For the Torah will go forth from Zion," or the law will go from Zion, "and the word of God from Jerusalem." That's the actual verse I quoted while in the Knesset last May when I was privileged to speak at the Knesset with Rabbi Yehuda Glick and Rabbi Tuli Weiss and Rosemary Schindler and her husband, Pastor Marlowe, as we got the privilege to speak there. I'll never forget the honor to speak at the Knesset. I actually took the place of Michelle Bachmann, the congresswoman who actually whose plane was delayed. And so I was asked to speak at the Knesset in her place. I can tell you that Rabbi Yehuda Glick he suffered a lot. Shot 4 times, nearly died. His wife having a massive stroke, and she just died. But he was there to see the 50th reunification of as Jerusalem as the capital. He was there to see the 70th anniversary of Israel as a nation. He was there to be there when the U.S. moved its embassy to Jerusalem. He's seen the blood moon over Jerusalem, the longest of the century. He witnessed the birth of the red heifer, and he even went to the Balm of Gilead farms, where where Heidi actually found the man who has been charged now to make the sacred incense for the third temple. Yehuda Glick will continue his mission, no longer as a politician in the Israeli government. He might be back. I have a feeling he'll be back. But for now, he'll continue to work toward peace in the Middle East and the right for all Jews and Christians to pray on the Temple Mount along with anyone else in the world. Let me tell you what else is going on. So Shalom Shalom to our good friend Yehuda Glick. He spoke at our tour last year, came one night and spoke to us, and we are asking him to do that again this year, to speak with us again this year when we take our people to Jerusalem. Here's what's going on, folks. I want to share some more things with you. We do have a lot taking place again in Venezuela. Operation Liberty is what they're calling it. The President of the United States says, do not call this a coup. This is not a coup. This is not an overthrow of a government. This is the removal of a tyrant so that the people can have their government. They've already had their vote. They wanted Guaido, but Maduro refuses to give up his power and has driven this nation into the state of poverty and now into chaos. Blood in the streets, hopelessness, disease, famine, lack of water and power, a nation on the brink. Tonight, the puppet masters, President Putin and Nicolas Maduro. Putin convincing Maduro to stay when the man was already on the plane to leave blows my mind. Guaido now says his army is continuing to march in the streets, and it is still continuing to go on right now. Negotiations are taking place. You've got to know this. The United States is putting a ton of pressure on Maduro to get on that plane and take his wife and get out of Venezuela while he still can. The noose is tightening. Now, we've got some information. I've got some information from my good friend who's got connections that say 13,000. Hear me what I'm getting ready to say. 13,000 U.S. troops, special ops, mercenaries, contractors, U.S. Army personnel are in Colombia tonight. And the word on the street is it's 13,000 troops made up of a consortium of American soldiers, both current and some mercenary members of Eric Prince's groups. And they're waiting on the word from the President of the United States. And if they're given the green light, they will go in and extract Maduro, dead or alive, from Caracas's palace. Maduro is feeling the pressure. Putin knows it's coming. Negotiations are going on at the highest levels of the leaders of the world, and we're waiting to find out what will happen. We will wait to see how this plays out. But believe me, there's really no turning back at this point. You can't turn back now. There you see one of the citizens run over. Completely just run over. And that's just one picture. Folks, I'm telling you, I watched video where I seen 2 of those armored trucks running over 15 or 20 people on purpose, gunning it and crushing them and running them over on the orders of Maduro. And I don't even want to talk about how many people they have murdered and killed with his thugs that he brought out of prison. So this thing is coming apart. The wheels are coming off over in Venezuela tonight. And Putin knows that he and Maduro, they're not going to survive this, guys. And I think Putin may have left this guy hanging out to dry. He should have let him get on the plane and go to Cuba. He really should have. And what are the Cubans going to do? Because they got about 23,000 troops and personnel in there supporting Maduro. Plus there's some Iranians in there. There's some Chinese soldiers in there. There's some Russians in there. And there might even be a few other nations in there. And this is it. And Trump doesn't want a war. Believe me, Trump doesn't want a war. He's trying every way in the world to get this guy out of there and let the people have their nation back and start the celebration, and let's start the healing, and let's start bringing in some aid and food. The United States will pour the food into there. So will the Israelis. So will the British. So will the French. The Brazilians are going to help out. The Colombians are going to help out. Maybe even the United Nations will have a heart and actually help out. Seriously. And this is what's happening. Okay? The pressure's on. Maduro must go. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on it. Let me tell you something else. While this is going on, there's some strange, really strange stuff going on. Before I go any further, there's earthquakes. The California earthquakes are overdue. Huge earthquakes are way overdue now, according to seismologists. Recent storms may have ended California's drought when it comes to water, but not when it comes to earthquakes. Scientists are saying that the Golden State of California is in the midst of an earthquake drought. Seismologists are saying there haven't been enough powerful earthquakes in the past 100 years. Along with California's highest slip rate faults, the ground rupturing quake with a magnitude of at least 7.0 is so overdue that a new study coming out says that the seismological research letters say that California current earthquake drought is unlike any paleoseismic period in the last 1,000 years. The aim of the study is titled The Current Unlikely Hiatus at California's Transformed Boundary Paleoseismic Sites. Points to the unlikelihood of the last 100 years that a relative seismic silence. Researchers at the U.S. Geological Survey analyzed the data from San Andreas fault line, the San Jacinto fault line, the Elsinore, the Hayward faults, as well as the identified 8 ground rupturing quakes that we had from 1800 to 1918. There was 8 earthquakes of at least 7.5 or higher. Those include a devastating 1906 earthquake in San Francisco, which was a 7.9, and a similar quake of 7.9 hit in 1857 in Southern California. There's been 8 mega quakes in the last 100 between 1800 and 1918. But since 1918, for the last 101 years, there has not been a mega quake. It is so overdue, it's not even funny. And they say that this, if our work is correct, in the next century isn't going to be like this last one. Get ready for quake after quake after quake of devastating earthquakes. And they anticipate as many as 14 mega quakes in this century. Well, it's been 19 years and we haven't had one. So you got to hear me when I say overdue. And they know it. Matter of fact, with the pressure building from Nibiru or Planet X, that's why the Heavens Are Shaking conference in Cincinnati. Tell them, Brock, Cincinnati. Be there. Get your tickets
in
now.
Cincinnati, Ohio, a powerful conference will take place. Stephen Ben-Danoon, Clyde Lewis, John Moore, and myself will be speaking on Planet X, Nibiru, the rising of the sea waters, a pole shift. What's causing the heavens to shake? You know, Jesus said they would in the last days. Go to my website. Get your ticket now. You want to be at this conference in Cincinnati, Ohio. The heavens are shaking. I'll see you then.
Get your tickets now, folks. They're going fast. We're closing in now. We got 11 days before the conference. One-day conference, Cincinnati, Ohio. Don't miss it. The heavens are shaking. Go to my website. That's where you'll have to purchase your tickets. Might as well get 2 when you go to order because somebody's going to come with you. And if you think there's 4 of you coming, you better get those too, because once they're gone, they're gone. And folks, we're getting closer now to that. And then that's it. Okay, there's no live streaming. This is it. If you're going to be there, this is it. Now let me say this to you real quickly. Venezuela's Guaido's army continues to grow. People are defecting quickly. It is falling apart. I want to say this. While the earthquakes are being predicted in San Francisco, the heavens are definitely shaking. The asteroids are scraping by. And in Washington, D.C., just in College Park, Maryland, the European Space Agency, NASA's there, SpaceX is there, Elon Musk has been there, FEMA's there, the Pentagon's there, rocket scientists are there, mathematicians are there, gravitational pull. People studying Planet X are there. Everybody knows the asteroids are coming. Deep impacts are on the way. The Bible says it in Revelation chapter 8 that 2 deep impacts are going to absolutely bring catastrophic, cataclysmic, apocalyptic destruction of a biblical proportion to the planet. We can't change prophecy. And man realizes he can't beat this thing. He's trying to figure out a way to shoot it down, blow them up, whatever they got to do. But we're in a galactical plane. Mike from around the world will be our guest on Thursday night. You don't want to miss that broadcast. Thursday night. Mike from around the world. I've actually got a call in right now to Stephen Ben-Danoon. I'm trying to track him down. I'm trying to get him on our show if I can. Tomorrow night, if I can, tomorrow night. If somebody can find Steven out there, tell him to get on Skype and get a hold of me. I've sent it out to him, looking for him everywhere. Where is he? But he'll be in Cincinnati. Let me tell you this. Strange Sounds has reporting that a monster sinkhole just opened up in Indonesia, folks. This thing was so huge. Are you serious? And it swallowed a rice field, but it was very close to some homes. It's a miracle it did not swallow these people's houses and kill all these people. This monster sinkhole. Look at this thing. Are you serious? Are you seriously serious, Indonesia? What are you talking about here? It came out of nowhere. It's Sunday afternoon. The earth opened up and just swallowed. And then there was 4 more that opened up. And so it's getting insane out there. But we're seeing asteroids. We're seeing mudslides, landslides. Look at this thing. Indonesia. Giant sinkhole. What? That's craziness. But the Bible said that hell would enlarge itself, and that without measure. The Bible talks about the earth opening up and swallowing the 250 elders of Israel because they had come against Moses and Aaron. They were in rebellion. And while this is going on, folks, we also have weird stuff happening. In California, some weird jelly-like blue creatures washed ashore in California beaches. Guys, is this just the beginning? Because some odd blue, look at this little weird thing. Now they call these little blue jelly, they call them by the wind sailors. That's what these things are called, by the wind sailors. What? Some odd blue tinted jelly-like creatures that resemble tiny little sailboats. Look at this. Look at this thing. What is that? Crawling out of the sea. I mean, just crawling out of the sea. Yeah. Now, sea creatures call these by the wind sailors. It's not by confused with another in Crete, interestingly named sea creature called the Portuguese man o' war, which was once spotted in San Pedro County in San Diego. These little weird blue jelly-like with a sail, like a little sailboat. Hoist up the John B. sails. See how the mainsail set. Call for the captain ashore. Let me go home. I want to go home. Please let me go home. Well, I feel so broke up. I want to go home. These little bitty blue creatures crawling out like creature features. They come crawling out of the bottom of the sea with Fukushima seaweed. Seriously, what is these things? By the wind sailor, appropriately named, will float along the surface of the water and occasionally be blown ashore. But we haven't seen any in over 7 years. Is there something biblical going on here with the signs of the second coming of Christ? Is this a sign of the big one, the earthquakes? I don't know. Oh, by the way, volcano erupted Fuego in Guatemala. Volcano Fuego, which means fire, erupted again, this time Guatemala. So here we go, Mike from around the world. He said it was going to happen. Volcanoes erupting. And here we go again. There it is today. Mount Volcano de Fuego, Guatemala. We got that going on. Then we got that giant sinkhole in Indonesia. We got these weird sea creatures in California. And we got the mudslides in Indonesia. I think there's about 29 dead. They expect the death toll to rise on that. Horrible mudslide. Again, Indonesia. Chaos in the land. People dying. The water's rising. Dark waters rise. The deluge. Flash flooding. Murky, muddy waters, mudslides, people dying all over Indonesia. And it's just a state of chaos. Thousands of people have been displaced. Pray for these folks. It's a horrible situation developing over there in Indonesia. And it's not just there, folks. Mozambique hit with the second cyclone this month. Cyclone Kenneth destroyed Mozambique. 38 people are dead. Scores are missing, massive destruction, absolute chaos, death toll expected to rise. Nothing good about that situation developing either in these end times. And if it, it just keeps getting worse. But wait, there's more, because what about Iran? Tonight, Iran has just threatened everybody. They said they're getting ready to close the Straits of Hormuz after the United States President Donald Trump announced the sanctions will apply to all nations importing oil from Iran. General Tangrasai, commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Navy portion of it, threatened to close the Straits of Hormuz. Iran's biggest oil customers are China, India, Japan, and South Korea. After withdrawing from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action nuclear agreement, the Trump administration granted waivers to China, Greece, India, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Turkey. And they told them you have 1 year to start buying oil from somewhere else. We'll give you a year. The year is up. The waivers are over. The United States has told everybody, find somewhere else to get your oil. You can start with Texas because we're cranking it wide open over here. And the number one producer of oil in the world, the United States. Well, Italy, Greece, and Taiwan took the message seriously and found new sources and made the transition to complete so that they don't need to buy Iranian oil no more. They're not buying it. But Japan, South Korea, and Turkey have continued to buy oil from the Iranians and asked for more additional waivers to be extended. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced April 22nd that the U.S. was going to put sanctions on nations importing Iranian oil, that no more waivers will be extended. The sanctions will come in effect on May 3rd if anybody else buys another drop of oil. Folks, are you serious? May 3rd is Friday. So the Iranians have threatened to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. And the United States has threatened to blow anything up that tries. So here we go. Are you serious? You think it's bad? It's going to get worse. Wars, rumors of wars. Nations will rise against nations, kingdom against kings. But wait, all 20 Democrat presidential candidates have said if they're elected, all 20, they will allow the Iranians to sell the oil and allow the Iranians to have nuclear bombs. So, wow, where do we go from here? Are we in the last days? Is this what Jesus meant when he said, in the last days, these perilous times will come? Is this what he meant? I think so. I really think so. There's almost 2,000 people with us here tonight. The heavens are shaking. Oh, yeah. The earth is quaking. Venezuela is breaking. And at any moment you could hear that Maduro has left Venezuela. Or you could hear Maduro has been assassinated or apprehended. Or you could hear that Juan Guaido has been killed. Or you could hear an invasion has just taken place. The United States does not want any piece of this battle. They just want Maduro to leave and give the country to the people. My prayer is that Maduro does hear that word and takes the advice I've been giving him for 3 months. I told him, get on a plane full of gold and fly to Moscow. Remember when I said that? Well, now there's no way he can get any more gold. Now he better take that plane ride to Cuba. And now there might not be any more planes going to Cuba. The squeeze may be on tonight. Are you saved? I want you to do something. I want you to, right where you're at, when you ask yourself a question. There's almost 2,000 of you here. Do you see what in the Bible said there'll be wars and rumors of wars? Do you understand what I mean by that? The chaos. You see what the battle is about now? Oil. Everybody's thinking, who owns Antarctica? Everybody's fighting for the oil in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. People are fighting for the oil in Antarctica. People are fighting for the oil in Antarctica. People are trying to get how they're going to grow more food, how they're going to stay alive, how they're going to protect their nations. How can they take other people's resources?
No, mankind has drifted. We've become like the days of Noah. We become like the days of Lot. We become like the days of the Bible when it says that men's hearts were on evil continually. Every imagination of the heart on wickedness and evil. Folks, we've lost our minds. No, worse than that, we've lost our souls. We've gotten to the point now where we don't know where left. There's nowhere left to turn. You have to come to Jesus Christ and understand. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Would you come back to God? Will you come back to God? Do you believe? Come back to God. Just type, I want to be saved. I want to be saved.
Have you looked around? Have you heard the sound of mama's crying?
Simon wants to be saved.
Or do you turn away?
I want to be
You
saved.
see the face of the innocent dying. In these darkest days,
Scott Trudeau wants to be saved.
Afraid that it's too late. You gotta get down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg.
Orban Vino,
You gotta keep praying.
Karen Bush, Deborah Nelson, Anita Turner all want to be saved.
Pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. Can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this.
Hazard wants to be saved.
Give this world back to God.
Fish Tropic, Beagle Lover, Orlando, all want to be saved.
Have you lost your love? Feel like giving up? Has your heart been broken?
Oscar wants to be saved.
Are your
Fred
kids
wants to be
okay?
saved.
Do they come home safe? Do you lie there hoping? You can make a wish. You can knock on wood. Oh, it won't do you no good. You gotta get
Down on your knees, believe, fold your hands, beg and plead. You gotta keep on praying. Wave the flag wants to be saved. You gotta cry, rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're all worth saving. Renee wants to be saved.
Can't go on like this and live like this.
We can't love like this. Give this world back to God. You can do it. It's time to get right with God tonight. You gotta get down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg and plead. Gotta keep on praying. You gotta cry, rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. That kid one wants to be saved. On like this and live like this. We can't love like this.
You can
Hold the best.
make a wish.
The only answer is
Give
give this world back to God. Adrian Rodriguez wants to be saved.
Give it back. Hey!
Are you ready? Don White wants to be saved. Brian McMillan wants to be saved. Guamon68 also wants to be saved. There's 19 people that want to be saved. I feel like I'm going to play one more song. I feel like I need to. There are people here who truly want to be saved. Do you believe, folks? Seriously, do you believe? And if you believe, you can receive. Just type, I want to be saved. I'll pray with them right after this song. This is your moment. Do you believe? Just type, I want to be saved. We will pray in just a moment.
Old man Wrigley lived in that White House down the street where I grew up. Mama used to send me over with things. We struck a friendship up. I spent a lot of long summers out on his old porch swing. Says he was in the war and in the Navy. Lost his wife, lost his baby. Broke down and asked him one time, how'd you keep from going crazy?
Paulina wants to be
I'll
saved.
see my wife and son in just a little while. I asked him what he meant. He looked at me and he smiled, said, I raise my hands,
I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth in the words written in red.
They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. Oh, I believe. A few years later, I was off to college, talking to my mom on the phone one night, getting all caught up on all the gossip, the ins and outs of small town life. She said, oh, by the way, son,
Old man Wrigley died.
Later on that night, I laid there thinking back, thought about a couple long lost summers. I didn't know whether to cry or laugh.
Onward Through Chaos wants to be saved.
Ticket to the other side. It would be that sweet old man who looked me in the
God bless you,
eyes,
Sterling.
raise my hands, I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth in the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I can't quote the book, the chapter, or the verse.
Onward Chaos.
But you can't tell me it all ends in a slow ride in a hearse.
Alex wants to be saved.
I'm
More and more convinced the longer that I live. Yes, it can't be. No, it can't be. No, it can't be all there is. I raise my hands. I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth in the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I believe. Come on, somebody, do you believe?
I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe.
Folks, we got 23 names here, people wanting to be saved. I want you to pray with me right now. I want you to give your life to Jesus Christ if you believe.
I believe.
Dear Lord, I'm coming to you tonight. I'm seeking you for salvation. I'm repenting of my sins. I'm confessing my sins to God. I believe. I'm calling upon the name of Jesus Christ. I'm asking you, Lord, to forgive me, to cleanse me, to wash me in your precious blood. I repent of my sins. I confess my sins to God. I'm opening my heart's door to Jesus Christ. And I'm asking Jesus to forgive me, to step into my life, to take away the pain, to take away the shame, to take away the sin and all of the obstacles, the chains that bind my soul, because I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, and I receive Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, that Christ rose from the dead, that Yeshua HaMashiach, the Son of the living God, the Redeemer of the world, ascended from heaven up to the sky, and there he's getting ready to come back. And I want to be ready when he comes. So right here, right now, by faith, in God's grace, in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost, in Jesus' name, I am saved, 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 healed, delivered, set free, born again, saved in Jesus, saved in Jesus, saved in Jesus' precious name. What? Mission Temple fireworks stand.
I saw a black man with a Bible and a sparkler in his hand. He was holding a tent revival and running a fireworks stand. He said the end of the world is coming, so you better get on your knees. Today bottle rockets 2 for 1, but salvation's free. He said I quit my job at a big church where the milk and money flowed to sell cherry bombs for Jesus in a tent beside the road. I ain't in it for the money, no cars they pass on by, but I pay the rent on New Year and the 4th of July. Here at the Holy Ghost,
Holy Ghost,
Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang Theory,
Pentecostal,
Pentecostal,
fire
fire and
and brimstone.
brimstone, Mission Temple fireworks stand.
He said fireworks are dangerous, they can blow up in your face. Better read the instructions, light the fuse and get away. These things are made in China, so it's easy to see how a man who worships Buddha ain't got no guarantee. This is the Holy Ghost,
Holy Ghost,
Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang Theory,
Pentecostal,
Pentecostal, fire and brimstone.
Mission Temple fireworks stand. He said
Everything I'm selling, it's all going up in smoke. This world is like an atomic bomb, it's ready to explode. When the trumpet sounds and the Lord comes back, I promise you one thing, I'll be a human bottle rocket, and I'll go out with a bang, just like the Holy Ghost.
Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire and brimstone. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand. I'll lead this Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire and brimstone. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand.
serious? I'm serious. Wow, you can get that song on my brand new CD, The Journey. So is all the songs we play here tonight. Hey guys, let me just say something real quickly. Welcome to the family. Every one of you got born again here tonight. Welcome to the family of God. Your name's been written in the Lamb's Book of Life. The angels are rejoicing in heaven. Seriously, they're rejoicing. They're doing cartwheels up there because 23 people that we know of got saved here tonight. And I forgot how many did. 15 today, earlier. Are you serious? Something biblical's going on here with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Yes, the world's in trouble. Yes, there's chaos. Yes, there's all kinds of commotions and confusion. But this is exactly what the Bible said would happen in the last days, just before the Messiah comes to get his bride. Are you ready? Well, I want to say get baptized. Find a pastor, find a church. Maybe it's a Messianic congregation. I'm going to be baptizing people down in the Texas two-step revival, Brock. Do you realize they're bringing in a horse trough? What? I have baptized people in horse troughs before. I've baptized people in whirlpools, swimming pools, horse troughs, creeks, rivers, gravel pits, ponds, ocean, the Jordan River, ice, had to break ice. What? So let's do a little Texas two-step revival. May 17th and 18th. Kevin Wilson's going to be there. L.A. Marzulli will not be there. We'll change that banner tomorrow. There's another speaker coming in to speak for him. L.A. had to cancel, could not make it. But Kevin Wilson will be there. I'll be there. I'll be singing Mission Temple Fireworks Stand. I've already told him I would. I'll probably sing 2 or 3 songs. Also, Kevin Wilson will be there singing. They're going to have an old-fashioned Texas two-step revival. There's going to be a barbecue down there. Are you serious? A Texas barbecue. Baptism. It's just going to be an old-time, absolutely a hoedown. Out down there, it's about an hour outside of Houston. Houston! So don't miss that. It's going to be amazing, okay? Oh, wow. Are you serious? Well, let me tell you what else is going on now. If you need a Bible, send an email to MissZD01@hotmail.com. That's MissZD01@hotmail.com. And the Bible's free. We'll pay the postage and we'll get it to you no matter where you are in the world. If somebody needs a blanket that's very, very sick, or somebody needs an anointed prayer cloth, send that email to MissZD01@hotmail.com. Or a chemo cap for those that are very sick or going through cancer, okay, and chemotherapy. All right. Now, last week alone, we shipped out a ton of blankets, Bibles, prayer cloths, over $931 worth of shipping just to get these items to people for free. But we could pay for it because of our faithful partners of our Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries, because of you folks who've been so faithful. Also, we were on television all across the nation and in 13 other cities. All of this can be taken care of by simply because of our faithful partners, the Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries. There you see it. Tonight, if you're saying, I want to keep this revival going, I want this cyber revival to continue. I love this online ministry. I love the news here. I love the energy. I love the power of prayer. I love the songs. I love the preaching. I love the salvations. I love the salvation station. Pastor Begley, I love this online church. I love my moderators. I love my brothers and sisters. Would you do something tonight? Put it back up there, Brock. Put it back up on that screen. Right now, it's time to give your tithe and offering. Maybe you're going to give your tithe and offering for the month of May. It's just about May 1st. Just go ahead and give that offering tonight. There it is, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Hit the easy button, as Billy Night Train would say. Where is Billy Night Train? Where is he? He must be out on the open road again. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. I seen Billy Night Train. He's reading the Bible to his friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. Where is he? On the road again. Like a bunch of Christians, they rode down the highway. We're the best of friends. We got a Bible and a shofar on our way. On our way. Okay, that's enough. Okay. You can text give also. Grab your cell phone right now and text the word give to that number, 765 765-327-4200. That's 765-327-4200. Text the word give to that number and give freely what the Lord's laid on your heart. Or write me at Paul Begley Prophecy. That's Paul Begley Prophecy, 1048-B, Sagamore Parkway. That's 1048-B, Sagamore Parkway West. That's Parkway West. Box 33, West Lafayette, Indiana. That's West Lafayette, Indiana, 47906. That's 47906. Okay? Making Willie Nelson look bad. I'm sorry about that, Willie. Okay? Sorry about that. Blue skies, all them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Now, I got to let you guys go. Guys, please go to sleep. Everybody go to bed, okay? Good night. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Good night, children.
May 11th in Cincinnati, Ohio, a powerful conference will take place. Stephen Ben-Danoon, Clyde Lewis, John Moore, and myself will be speaking on Planet X, Nibiru, the rising of the sea waters, a pole shift, what's causing the heavens to shake. You know, Jesus said they would in the last days. Go to my website, get your ticket now. You want to be at this conference in Cincinnati, Ohio. The heavens are shaking. I'll see you then. A brand new DVD, Zombie Apocalypse 2. I sat down with L.A. Marzulli and got a first-hand account from Pastor Casper McLeod. This DVD deals with the demonic spirits manifesting in the world today. The zombie craze has certainly caught the eye of Hollywood and movies and TV series. But do you really know what it is? Get the DVD. It's at my website right now. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity, folks, to tell you about a brand new music CD called The Journey. Every song has been absolutely godly inspired to touch the heart and soul of every person. Go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Get it now, because these songs will inspire you in your walk of life. The Journey, we're all on it, and this music CD will literally change your soul.
Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, a 4 DVD set that looks into the most controversial subjects of the end time prophecies. The 4 Horsemen. Oh yes, we're talking about the white one, the red, the black, the green, all of these phases of the breaking of the seals in these end times. Are you ready for the challenge? Well, get this DVD set only at my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Come join me on a journey to the Holy Land. Sister Heidi and I are taking those of you who would love to go to the land of the Bible. Be baptized in the Jordan River. Take communion at the Garden Tomb, or a boat ride across the Sea of Galilee. I mean, this is an experience, a life-changing event. The Bible will come to life right before your very eyes. It's October 2019. Come with us. Experience Israel. A brand new DVD, Rapture Ready. Finally, we're going to answer the question millions of people want to know. What is the rapture? When is the rapture? And am I ready for the rapture? Well, this brand new DVD is filled with information, scripture, a PowerPoint presentation that will help you prepare to be rapture ready. We're living in those days. Are you ready to meet the Lord? Get this DVD now at my website.
I want to thank all my partners for standing with me, for helping us in the mission of leading people to Jesus Christ, for winning souls into the kingdom. Our live broadcast online, we're seeing 25, 30 souls every day accepting Christ as their Savior. And right here on this television broadcast, so many have come to Jesus Christ. We couldn't do it without you, but we can do all things with Christ. So thank you again for being our partners. God bless all of you.